I think we have no choice. We did make a request to have this item pulled and to refer to the guidelines of the master business agreement and the joint powers of agreement to resolve some of these disputes. But here we are, and so I agree. I think having this conversation professionally and respectfully is the best way to do it. But I do want to say on behalf of my board and my staff, we are absolutely committed to the work that happens here. I've seen it happen. I've visited here. I've shadowed students. So I do believe in this program, and it does serve a population that has historically been underserved by public school systems across the country. So I have to say that I 100% believe in the work that happens here. With that being said, I do have to raise concerns about the agreement that's before you for a variety of reasons. There is item 12 of the general provisions in the master business agreement calls for amendments or changes to the master business agreement need to happen when there is mutual agreement by all of the districts. That did not happen. We, two of the largest districts it sounds like Unified is not the largest enrolled here, Eastside is, but two of the districts that have large enrollment are not supportive of a 55% funding model. And for a variety of reasons, we have not had the opportunity to go through our process to be able to bring forth an agreement for you all to consider so that we don't have to have this discussion in public. So I too sit with that discomfort. The other piece is there are other places in the agreement where we can look to resolve some matters. I heard a discussion about a property that's being looked at. The Executive Council is not aware of that. In the JPA, there are guidelines for what happens when you're talking about property. I believe it's item 6.3 and 6.210 that talk about what happens when the education district is going to engage in a transaction like that. And so I think that a lot of the things that we need to do are written in the agreement, and we need to just turn to the agreement to resolve them. I think the other piece that I'm concerned about is that there is item 19 in the joint powers of agreement. There is a resolution dispute, and any disputes like the ones that we are having, there is a process for resolving those so that we don't have to do that publicly. And so I really want to just thank the trustee that from Eastside. I'm sorry I don't get your name, but thank you for your suggestion about bringing together the board and the executive council that is outlined as a requirement in the JPA. So that we can engage in this dialogue and approach this work with shared understanding around the roles and responsibilities. So I do want to say if a recommendation is made to accept the proposal that staff has brought forward, that I will be bringing a recommendation to my board to not support that proposal. The last point I want to make is that on Monday when we met with the MetroEd staff, San Jose Unified did draft a proposal that we shared at that meeting. Unfortunately, some of the members were not able to attend. And from my communication with the superintendent, she shared that could potentially be discussed here tonight. We're not comfortable with that simply because the others have not had an opportunity to weigh in. I understand Miltina's also had information shared that we don't all have. And so to have a discussion about something that we have not had an opportunity to discuss is incredibly problematic for me as a representative for San Jose Unified. So with that, thank you very much.
Thank you. Now we have Chris Fong from the
Good evening, Chris Fong, Superintendent for Eastside Union High School District. I appreciate the opportunity to address the board and Superintendent Lynch. Let me start by saying this is my 7th year as the superintendent of Eastside. I am the only superintendent remaining that was here when Paul Hay was the former superintendent. And so I'll address his letter in just a second. And during my 7 years, the enrollment from Eastside has continued to grow. We've had amazing trustees that have sit on this board that have been the #1 cheerleader for MetroEd. Because we support MetroEd, we always have. We're the #1 district that sends the most students here. And so when we talk about making sure that this is sustainable, that is our goal also. The problem is that the discussion around how do we move forward is not being followed as outlined in the business agreement. If you actually just take the time, and I hope you've had the opportunity to read the agreement, it outlines the entire process we should be following. Unfortunately, we have not met as an executive council since early fall. The superintendent Lynch refuses to meet with us. She refuses to meet with us. I intentionally did not attend the 2 study sessions because I disagreed with that process. Not that the board should have information about what's in the business agreement, not that the board should have a chance to discuss what's been decided in executive council, but the fact that executive council has not had a discussion on this. Not until Superintendent Lynch received the letter from legal counsel that she called us Friday afternoon, sent an email, after the agenda went live and said, oh, hey, I have time to meet. It was 1 day, 2 different times for 30 minutes. That's not goodwill. You're not going to solve something in 30 minutes when you haven't met in 4 or 5 months. So my whole issue is that your superintendent refuses to meet with the executive council. And that's all we ask. When we met on Monday, we actually provided a proposal that is a better proposal than the current business agreement. Is the final agreement, could it improve? Absolutely. But it shows our good faith in wanting to meet and have dialogue. That's all we ask for. I was surprised to see a letter from former retired Superintendent Paul. Hey, there's a couple items in there that I just have to address. Because again, I'm the only remaining superintendent that was here for that executive council. And my time with San Jose Unified, I represented Donnie Glacius during that time. So I've been a long-standing member of the executive council. One of the concerns I had with this letter, when we talk about the 21 classified cuts that have been made, there were no cuts in between 2007 and 2012 when all the school districts were facing that Great Recession. MetroEd relied on their reserves. It wasn't until, unfortunately, when Superintendent Lynch came that she had to make those tough decisions. To say that 21 classified employees have been lost for a 1,300 enrolled school, that is a minimal size in Eastside for our high schools. We do not have a high school. Even our high school has 3,000 students that have 21 classified members, let alone 25 that were cut, and we still have another, whatever number you have. So we all have had to make some tough decisions. And we're not here to try to determine what the budget is, because that's really the role of staff and the role of this board. But imagine going back to your school district, creating a budget, and then sending it to Governor Newsom and saying, hey, we need you to fund our budget. It doesn't work that way. The legislature determines the revenue, it's sent to the site of the districts, and we have to build a budget based on that revenue. You don't get to build a budget and then come back and ask for the JPA to help fund that new budget. So I'm just simply asking that you follow the business agreement, the processes that are outlined, and let superintendents work this out, bring forward a proposal that we can all agree on, and then have a dialogue with the board. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. We also have another one, 18B2, but without the name, so I don't know who is this.